Thank you, Kelly. The two teams are in the tunnel. They've just unfurled the emblems of the two national sides. The yellow and royal blue of Sweden to our left, the white and red of Switzerland to our right. As the two teams wait, where I've got to say in a stadium that disappointingly looks only about half full at the moment, here in St. Petersburg. We were expecting an influx of Swedish supporters. I mean, it is a big stadium. It will host one of the semis, situated on Krestovsky Island here in this beautiful city. But there are a lot of empty seats at the moment, Pat. And I've got to say, I expected to see more yellow shirts inside this stadium.
Yeah, I mean, it is a massive stadium. You've got to say that. Remember, this is when you get to knockout stages, then it's almost you're getting to games that the tickets haven't been sold before. People have thought, well, we might get to that game. They might have been sold those tickets, and then these are teams that you didn't expect to be here, so those fans have gone home. So the tickets a lot of the tickets have been sold, but the fans have gone home because their teams have gone home, because these are not necessarily two we expected to see here.
Well, after that lengthy train journey yesterday, our producer John Southall said, I've heard a lot of German voices, and I think the Germans were expected to be here at this stage, but of course they're not. Auf Wiedersehen to the Germans, and instead it is Sweden who top Group F ahead of Mexico, and they come into this match against Switzerland, who Kelly says finished runners-up behind Brazil in a group that also contains Serbia and Costa Rica. We know three-quarters of the lineup for the quarter-finals: France, Uruguay, Russia, Croatia, Brazil against Belgium. And you might well be driving home or just trying to take your mind off it this before the big one, England, Colombia, and we'll give you all the build-up from 5 o'clock ahead of 7 o'clock. But this could be England's opponents. One of these two sides will be England's opponents if Gareth Southgate's side get through. So we're going to be like a scouting mission here in St. Petersburg. Full commentary to come then from St. Petersburg, but as you'll know, it's day 2 of Wimbledon, and we're keeping you up to date, as we always do on the BBC, and our tennis correspondent Russell Fuller has an update from SW19. As the two teams pose for their photos, these are the 11 that start for Sweden. Olsen is in goal, back four of Lustig, Lindelöf, Granqvist, Augustin, midfield of Klaassen, Svensson, Ekdal and Forsberg, Berg and Toivonen are the two up front. So the one change, Svensson coming in for Larsson. Switzerland have made 4 changes. Scher and Lichtsteiner are both suspended. Giroud replaces the central defender Scher. Lang for Lichtsteiner at right back. The other 2 changes, Dermich for Gavranovic, and Zuber comes in for Embolo. So Sommer is in goal, Lang, Giroud, Akanji and Rodriguez. Xhaka and Barami will sit in the centre of midfield. Zuber to the right, Shaqiri to the left, Jamali behind Dermich. Red shirts, white shorts for Switzerland. Sweden in their traditional colours, the yellow shirts and blue shorts, Pat Nevin.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see how they line up right at the start. One of the things you always look at, first thing you look at, height, physicality, what have they got against each other. By a distance, the Swedes are the bigger side, the broader looking side, so you realise they're going to have to use that physicality, and it's going to be corner kicks, it's going to be long balls up the park. They've got more than that as well. One player we haven't mentioned in the build-up is Lustig. Had a great season for Celtic. He likes to get forward from that right back area as well, and he creates mayhem there when he gets balls in from good areas, so he's another player to look out for. Him on the right hand side for the Swedes, but on the Swiss left hand side, Rodriguez, left full-back, AC Milan, we've seen a good deal of him, he can play.
He certainly can. Sweden are going to get this match underway. The stadium situated on Krestovsky Island here in St. Petersburg. This, up until about 300 years ago, was Swedish territory. That is until it was conquered by Russian forces led by Peter the Great. There hasn't been the Swedish invasion from those decked out in yellow, but those that are inside the stadium, expected between 5 to 10,000, are jumping up and down in excitement, because in this half of the draw, believe, whether you're Swedish, Swiss, English or Colombian, you'll never have a greater opportunity of progressing. As straight away there is a slip by Lindelöf that allows Sweden to prosper, as it was played across the back there, out towards Shaqiri on the right hand side. Left-footed effort, dragged wide, as he'll like to come in off that right hand side, will the Stoke City player. But in the sunshine for the time being. We've had torrential rain in the last 24 hours in St. Petersburg. Whether that had anything to do with a slip from the Manchester United player, but that wouldn't have done his heart any favours whatsoever.
Well, I think it must have had something got to do it, because it was torrential about 3 hours ago, and it battered down for about an hour and a half, so much so there were question marks about us getting our tickets, but we got them eventually, and that's a bit of a worrying time, as you say, right at the start of the game for them. But the Swiss, I'm interested to see how they do right back, right centre back. You mentioned it yourself too, not first choices, and that's a big thing to have in your team. 2 first choices and one side of the defence not being available.
And they'll be coming up against Emil Forsberg, who's been linked with Arsenal. The Swedish midfielder currently playing with Leipzig in Germany, as Sweden have been awarded a free kick, which is midway through the Switzerland half. Yellow shirts playing from left to right. It's been placed down by Augustinsson, the left back. So this is going to be an in-swinging free kick as he raises his right arm aloft. It's deep in towards the penalty area, headed on by Toivonen on that far side, and cleared away by the Swiss defence as Lang tries to hook his leg to clear the ball away on that far side. But instead it's Augustinsson who's going to take a throw.
Didn't look great, that defender, did it, really, from the Swiss there? Again, it's that precise area we were mentioning before, the right back, right centre back area. They put it right in there from the free kick. No one marking at the back post, and real concerns early on for the Swiss.
So it's going to be a long throw to come in for Sweden on that far side, the left. In it goes, it's aimed towards Toivonen, and it's cleared away by Barami, up towards Jamali over on that far side. And it'll be eventually dealt with by Sweden, and then Lustig goes back all the way to Robin Olsen, who became number 1 after the retirement of Andreas Isaksson, who had been established in goal for Sweden for a long time. As the referee, Damir Skamina from Slovenia, blows his whistle and gives a free kick to Switzerland. 2.5 minutes played, 0-0. BBC Radio 5 Live, the tennis is on Sports Extra.
Well, I really hope the referee, that was a pretty light free kick he gave there. I didn't see any offside there, so I don't like the referees giving them for the really easy ones earlier on, really soft free kicks earlier on, because that can sometimes lead to a lack of fluency in the game. We need that fluency in the game, because especially this week, to be honest.
Rodriguez forward from left back for the red shirts of Switzerland. Inside, and the ball is spread out towards that far side by Granit Xhaka, and making good ground is Mikael Lang, the right back. Shaqiri on his left foot fires it in. Grankvist stands tall, heads it high and wide and out of play for a throw over on that far side, and Lang will take it quickly to Shaqiri. He's one of the key players in this Swiss side. Florian, the journalist, also mentioned Granit Xhaka of Arsenal in the midfield, but if you're wanting that little bit of magic, a little bit of stardust, it'll be provided off the left foot of Shaqiri, as across the 2 central defenders. Giroud plays it forward, Barami tries to dig it out, interception comes from Forsberg, challenge from behind, free kick in favour of Sweden. Been playing for 4 minutes, 0-0.
I think that was completely and utterly deliberate there. I think it was Zuber. He's not slow, he's a quickie, he's left winger there, but he's not wanted to make the chase back there, and he's given away a really simple free kick, annoyed the referee again.
So Grankvist is going to take it just outside the centre circle, the former Wigan Athletic defender. Very settled side that Sweden have had. They made 1 change throughout the 3 group stage games, unchanged in the last 2 when they played against Germany and Mexico, and they've just made the 1 change today. Larson, formerly of Hull City, actually signed a deal just a few days ago to go back to his homeland, AIK. But he's suspended, so it's an enforced change for their manager, Jenna Andersson. As Xhaka turns and goes back, their Swedish voices you can hear. They're dotted around the stadium. In the bottom tier away to our left, there is a chunk of yellow, but then sporadic yellow shirts all the way around this star-shaped stadium here in St. Petersburg.
To be honest, they've been very reserved, the Swiss. I know that sounds like a bit of a cliche, but they have been today so far, but I suppose we'll hear from them if they get some chances. At the moment, the only person that's looking any danger whatsoever for them is Shaqiri.
You've heard the expression after the Lord Mayor's show. I don't know but this is before the Lord Mayor show. Certainly
Absolutely,
it feels that way. Everyone's just been talking about England, Colombia, and you'll get plenty of talk before the commentary from 5 o'clock, because Mark Chapman is live in the Spartak Stadium. He'll be joined by Alan Shearer, Jermaine Genius, Danny Murphy, Chris Waddle, Terry Butcher's our pitchside reporter, as we try and focus on this game here, who will be the opponents for England-Colombia. Shaqiri, now Barami, out towards Slang, the right back is forward. Lang with a diagonal ball into the penalty area, struck the body of Dermich inside the box. Sweden will try and bring it clear. It's been won back though on this near side. Rodriguez then is caught in possession. Left back was high up the field there as it's played inside by Klaassen. Berg drops off, lays it out. Forsberg is out on the left hand side. Here is Forsberg going on ahead of him. Augustinsson, and the left back can't keep that one as it goes ahead of him and rolls out of play for a goal kick.
Again, I mean, the movement there was okay from the Swiss. They've moved forward, but you kind of look at them when they got on the ball and you never really think there's going to be a spectacular pass. You know, a pass is going to break between centre backs, you know, something unexpected. They don't seem to have at the moment a player that looks capable of doing that very often, so it's a bit one-dimensional so far for the Swedes, but hey, it's worked for them so far. I think what they want, they would play for as many free kicks as they possibly can. They've been getting free kicks in their own half. I mean, 70 yards to go and hitting it into the back post.
Switzerland on the attack, coming forward. Cross in the end off the right foot of Zuber was straight at Robin Olsen, the Swedish goalkeeper. Zuber's actually playing on the left-hand side. Jamali, who once did have a brief time at Bolton, he's been all over the place. It was an FA Cup appearance for Bolton, 10 years ago now. One of 9 different clubs that he's had. He's central behind Dermich at the moment, and Shaqiri's on the right-hand side. Ball lifted in by Toivonen. Berg in the penalty area, right-footed, slices it well wide. Just wouldn't sit for him, it seemed.
You're being kind, I'm afraid. That's a terrible finish. I mean, the ball's got flicked through them there. That's actually not a bad move, and probably the best move of the game so far. And he's flicked it through there. It's on the half volley. He's at a little bit of an angle, but not a ridiculous angle. He has absolutely wellied it miles wide there into about Rosehead. That's not a good finish at all. We'll be seriously disappointed with that. I'm pretty disappointed for him.
They've taken the goal kick short. Giroud and Sommer will clear away. Hasn't been a good clearance at all. Falls to Berg once again. Excellent defending by Kanjani coming across to block it. Still the danger remains. Volleyed over this time by Ekdal, who arrived. And that was all of Switzerland's own making, because the clearance was poor. Sweden seized upon it, and really they should have taken better advantage.
Oh, that's actually 2 opportunities within the space of a minute there, and you add that on to the poor play, your poor defensive play right at the start from the free kick. I think these Swedish players and Swedish fans will be looking at us thinking, boy, if we get a chance here. Really unlucky with that second hit. Caught it on the volley absolutely brilliantly, Ekdal, but it just didn't stay down. Much better effort than the one just beforehand.
Akanji was at least alive to the danger, because he quickly managed to get the block in, but then his clearance fell to Ekdal. So Sweden have had a couple of opportunities in the sunshine here in St. Petersburg, but it's still 0-0. On a day when the quarter-final lineup will be completed for Russia 2018. Our Wimbledon coverage is on 5 Live Sports Extra. You can also watch it, of course, BBC Television and the BBC Sport website. Akanji will deal with a run of Berg. Oh no, he hasn't done with that at all as he turned. He sliced it. There seems to be a few nerves out there. A lot of errors are being made.
A massive amount of nerves from that Swiss defence. And I suppose it's a big thing. Defences and defenders like to be certain, secure, with their usual mates around them. Sometimes you see them all spooked when the goalkeeper's missing. Well, they've got half of their defence missing. It shows just now.
Lustig goes actually with a short throw rather than a long one. Played back towards the Celtic defender. Toivonen with his back to goal, right corner of the penalty area, trying to turn. Wouldn't get it out from underneath his feet, and Akanji's quickly closed down by Klaassen on this near side, the right, that goes behind for a goal kick. BBC Radio 5 Live.
It's a big thing. We often hear Terry Butcher talking about it, the differences it makes when you've got the people beside you, they're understanding, they know your strengths, they know your weaknesses. And it's more extreme when you actually get to international games, because these are guys you don't always play with week in, week out. So you've got Lang, who plays for Basel, Giroud, who's over in Turkey, I believe, just now. So they're all over the place. These are guys that do not play with each other a lot, and to change it halfway through the tournament, not through their own choice, because it was I think both suspensions.
Yes.
So massive change there for them, and they really haven't settled in that back line for Switzerland.
Yeah, Sharon Lichtsteiner, the two who are suspended for Switzerland today. Giroud plays for Antalyaspor now in Turkey. Actually turned down the opportunity to play for Sheffield Wednesday before he moved to Turkey. When Pat was talking, Switzerland had just had a goal kick as they try and move through the midfield, and Shaqiri plays a long diagonal ball, and making the run and spotting the run was Jamali, but it back one bounce and it's through to Robin Olsen. But when that goal kick, the two central defenders have split. They've gone either side of the penalty area, but what Sweden did there, they really did press them, and they prevented Switzerland from knocking it out short. And that's twice now that Switzerland the two central defenders have split, and on both occasions he's been unable to clear us.
Well, you know what's going to happen. As has happened, no doubt, is they've got training. They'll say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to split. We're going to get the ball. And we're going to play it out. And then the managers realised, actually, I don't know if those two are actually good enough to do that when they're faced man to man. And at the moment, they don't look as if they've been able to do that. And as you mentioned before, it's confidence as much as anything else. They do look a little bit nervous. They might calm down as the game goes on.
Klaassen with a little flick header. There is Giroud to head it away. Comes to Lustig, lifts it back in. Barami with the header for Switzerland. Switzerland in their red shirts with Xhaka back to Akanji on the edge of his own penalty area, not fazed by the presence of Berg. Passes the ball square out to the right for Giroud. Giroud goes long, and although that Shaqiri applauds the pass, Shaqiri was never going to keep that ball in play as it sailed out for a Swedish throw.
It's a pretty simple thing, because your line's going a little bit further forward. The right back, Rodriguez, left back's going forward. So you've got Giroud and Akanji, right? So them two on the ball. Thing is, you usually only play against one centre forward, international level. It's not the case here, is it? Berg and Toivonen. You've got two centre forwards up there, or two strikers, people that want to close it down, and it's the 4-4-2. I actually think it's confusing, the Swiss at the moment. Not used to playing with, not that many teams international level play with that system.
Switzerland, who've never won a knockout match in tournament football. They did reach the quarter-finals in 1954 when they were hosts, but then of course it was the group stage, went straight in to the quarter-final stage, as Berg is on the ball here for Sweden. Rather than passing the ball forward, he opts to go back, trying to make his way through a very crowded area was Ekdal. Spread it out to Augustinsson. Forsberg now comes forward. Forsberg to Klaassen, central area. Still waiting. Nice little turn. Ekdal. Augustinsson waits. First time cross. Blocked by Lang. Headed into the penalty area. Toivonen was there. It's going to fall to Lustig. He's completely screwed that. It went off at a right angle off his right foot, and will enable Switzerland, with Dermich just dropping back, and Shaqiri, who's almost playing as a right back, to clear away downfield. It's 0-0, and the quality at the minute isn't great. Rodriguez coming forward for Switzerland, over the halfway line on this near side, goes in field. Just able to turn is Zuber. Joining the attack, the long-haired figure of Lang. Shaqiri, right-hand side, off his left foot, curling, and just over the head of Josip Dermich. If he got any sort of a touch for that could have been problems for Sweden, but as it was, it went out all the way for a goal kick.
Jerry, you have to be quite specific about it. All the danger is coming from Shaqiri. Actually, not all the danger from Shaqiri, from specifically his left foot. Nothing else. You're looking at what the Swiss are giving you just now. They're giving you his left boot and absolutely nothing else. They've got to improve. I think they're missing Lichtsteiner, who actually works really well with Shaqiri on that right-hand side there. They link up together. He creates a little bit of space for Shaqiri. But at the moment, I think, with Sweden, without playing very, very well, they are by a distance the better side at the moment.
That's the voice of Pat Nevin. Quarter of an hour played in St. Petersburg. Sweden 0, Switzerland 0. Rodriguez to take the throw. On this near side, the left, over the head of Dermich, headed back on by Lustig, and Rodriguez will volley the ball out of play. He's complaining in a high boot there from Viktor Klaassen, who actually plays his football in Russia for Krasnodar. Had an excellent season too, with 12 goals during the last season. Back with Manchester United's central defender Victor Lindelöf. Grankvist now over the halfway line. Forward ball, looking towards Forsberg, sliding across with Giroud. Berg tries to play it back in early for Sweden, but plays it behind Forsberg, and it runs out of play for a goal kick. You know, the other night when we did that game in Nizhny Novgorod, and very early on, well, it was certainly in the first half, we had a feeling that it was going to go to extra time between Denmark and Croatia. 15 minutes in, is it too early to say that this could go the same way?
I don't think it's as poor a game as that one we watched. I don't think it does look like a game that's, okay, he says trying not to sigh, evenly matched, without a doubt. Yes, it is very evenly matched. It doesn't look as if it's going to be a high scoring game. There doesn't seem to be enough quality on the field for it to be that. And if you are an England supporter and you're sighing at that concept, don't. That's what you want, because if you get by Colombia, that's exactly what you want. A team, either of these teams, that don't look that great, that don't look as if they've got a lot of goals in them.
Sommer with the clearance, still goalless here in St. Petersburg. I mentioned as the two teams came out, we were struck by the amount of empty blue seats inside this impressive stadium that holds 67,000. They must have been late stragglers, because it has been filling up now, and there aren't many empty seats left as they make their way. And it would probably take about 45 minutes to an hour to the island of this Krestovsky Island from St. Petersburg, as the ball is spread out towards this near side, the left, but Rodriguez is unable to keep the ball in play. It will go out for a Swedish throw.
So one side, isn't it, for the Swiss team? Shaqiri gets the ball all the time, it goes down there, he cuts inside, puts a dangerous ball in, and has a shot with his left foot. And I mentioned just beforehand that left full-back Rodriguez, he's a top player. I mean, give him the ball in a decent position. He could maybe work a little bit with Zuber. At the moment, nothing happening down that left side so far for the Swiss. They need to do something so that it's a wee bit more balanced for them going forward.
Well, even the Swiss journalist admitted when he said it's the golden generation. And I said, well, you haven't got a goal scorer. And he went, no, we haven't.
Yeah, he didn't. He just stopped. No.
It's a golden generation without a threat. Ball played forward by Sommer, chipped out towards Rodriguez. Rodriguez just short of the halfway line, back to Akanji. Barami, formerly of Watford and West Ham, is in between the two central defenders. Both full-backs are pushed on at the moment. Red shirts, white shorts, playing from right to left. Granit Xhaka goes to Barami, who's in the centre of what is, for the time being, a back three. As he eventually moves forward, Lang gives it away. There was a little nudge there in the back. Was the referee's played the advantage as Forsberg looks for the run of Berg. With a little nudge in the back too from Akanji, who'd gone with him, and Giroud tidies up all the way towards Sommer. Out to Giroud. Barami playing out from the back. Sweden are trying to press and put them under a little bit of pressure. Giroud, that was a little bit better as he chips it forward, and out of play it goes for a throw to Switzerland. 18 minutes played. We've had one chance. We've actually had two chances.
Yeah, a couple of chances.
Both for Sweden. Berg sliced it well wide, and then I think it was Forsberg who fired one over as well, or was it Ekdal? As I forgot to write that one down. Here is Switzerland on the attack. Rodriguez, low ball in from the left-hand side. Lindelof will put it out of play for a throw. Yeah,
that's the one we're calling for. Just a minute ago, Rodriguez going down the left-hand side. He has to get involved in the game. You can't just have the one plan, just get it to Shaqiri. You've got to have something else to ask the defenders questions.
Little turn inside by Steven Zuber, one of four changes made. Out to Shaqiri. Shaqiri now comes inside. If he gets it on his left foot, beware. He chips it into the penalty area, headed away by Lindelof, and Lindelof for this time will clatter the ball away downfield over the head of Akanji. Every time he's going to come inside, you're expecting something to happen from Shaqiri.
Really surprised at Lustig there at the right fullback position. He got beyond, he got too deep, and he put his hand up looking for an offside, didn't he? And the offside flag never came. It was the wrong thing to do. Play the ball first and then wait for the flag to happen. Don't call for it yourself.
Dermich plays the ball forward towards Jamali. Lindelof then with a back pass, then was more intent on stopping Jamali from putting Olsen under pressure there. I think he maybe realised he might have sold him a fraction short, and the clearance from Olsen goes out of play, and it's a Switzerland throw that they've taken. The supporters on the far side, in both the bottom and top tiers, bathed in sunshine, as Rodriguez forward, looking for the run of Zuber. Zuber cuts it back, and in front of the bouncing Swedes in their yellow shirts, it's cleared away by the Swedish defence. Picked back up by Xhaka, challenged in possession by Klasen, and it runs out of play for a Sweden throw. 20 minutes played. It's 0-0.
We were talking to Florian, the Swiss journalist, beforehand, and he was saying you know, how much Xhaka is highly rated in the Swiss national team, the way he controls games, you know, the pace of the game, the tone of the game is decided by him. Not yet today. He's hardly had a kick at the ball.
No, he's not. Barami's sitting very, very deep as well in that central area, a little bit further back behind him. 20 minutes played. Here is Toivonen. Klaassen out to Berg, tried to switch play to Forsberg. Gets a little bit of a ricochet. Well read there by Lang. Steps forward. And on the counter-attack, just tried to play in Shaqiri. Well, Gustafsson was back. Diagonal ball from Shaqiri is too deep. But it was a nice idea by Mikael Lang, the fill-in right back in place of Lichtsteiner, because he saw it coming, stepped forward, and the break was on. Yeah, I'm beginning to see something slightly different now. You know, Lang, that's maybe the second time he's a rangy, long-legged runner like Ken, and he's got real pace when he starts going. Thing is, he hasn't done it in the first 10 or 15 minutes. Just a couple of times in the last few minutes he started to do so, and it may well be, if you start saying to Lang one side, Rodriguez the other side, start going, just take a chance, hammer forward now and again. That could change this game. I can just see the first little hints of it from the Swiss fullbacks, both left and right. Well, if you're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live and it's still goalless at the moment, and you're a supporter of Manchester United or Manchester City, you'll know about the player we're talking about, because he scored against both City and United for Basel in the Champions League. In fact, as a right back, he scored 10 goals during the season, so he does like to get forward. As Switzerland with Akanji on the halfway line. We're approaching the midway point of the first half, and it's still goalless. Xhaka rolls it out. Rodriguez on this near side. They've got two attack-minded fullbacks on the field of Switzerland. There's Rodriguez to Akanji, Giroud. Barami's telling him to switch it. Sweden are then trying to press midway through the field in front of us, and back to Akanji, and Akanji because of Berg, Toivonen. He waits to Giroud. Toivonen will go towards him. They're passing it across the back, the two central defenders, without a great deal of conviction, and now Sommer hesitant. It's difficult for them. They're 2 against 2. They're not used to that, but they've actually managed to get out this time. Beforehand they weren't getting out, but they're now beginning to get out. Shaqiri just showed too much to Augustinsson. His clearance to Forsberg goes down under a challenge from Barami. Now Barami is one of 2 Swiss players who's on a yellow card. Should he get that, he would be missing the quarter-final tie should Switzerland get through. But the referee, Damir Skamina from Slovenia, decides to let him off. Is he not always on a yellow card? But I mean, that's just kind of the way he is. It's kind of player that he is. And he makes that tackle there, that's utterly unnecessary to do that. And he's not got a yellow card, but his next one will be. Berg makes the run. Berg with a flick header, looking there towards the run of Klaassen. But it was gathered in by Sommer. He's released it very quickly. Xhaka's now coming forward. Still 0-0. Forward ball towards Jamali. Right corner of the penalty area. Nobody's picked up Shaqiri on that right-hand side. In comes the left-footed cross. And the header on the run by Zuba drops over the top of the crossbar. That was better. Yeah, and it has been. The last 3 or 4 minutes, you almost feel as if there's been a sign from the bench to say, right, okay, full-backs, you can go now. You're allowed to take a little chance going forward. A little bit more settled, the 2 centre backs. They have to be brave. Now Giroud and Akanji, they're going to be marking Berg and Toivonen, and it may well be man and man now and again. But if you're going to win, get through the quarterfinals, you've got to take chances, and you just see little moments now, little chances now, with that overlap you're getting from the full-backs. And unimpressed with the Swiss completely in the first 15 or so minutes. Getting a little bit more impressed with them. They are beginning to look a little bit more dangerous. We talked about them never winning a knockout match in tournament football, whether it be the World Cup or indeed the Euros. At this stage of the World Cup, they've never scored in the round of last 16 in their previous 3 attempts, 94, 2006 or 2014. So history is very much against Switzerland as Barami comes forward now and drives forward. He's got Dermot ahead of him. Zuba had made the run out towards the left-hand side. Here is Zuba back with Rodriguez. Barami now and the Rodriguez continue to exchange passes midway through the Sweden half. Every yellow shirt back behind the ball. 25 minutes play. You'll hear all the build-up. 2 hours of build-up before the 7 o'clock commentary of Colombia against England. Live here in Russia on BBC Radio 5 Live. As the ball is attempted to be spread out towards Shaqiri. Augustinsson's header is back with the red shirts, and it's Xhaka who waits for Switzerland on that far side as a cold breeze sweeps around this stadium here in St. Petersburg. The weather has fluctuated certainly over the last 24 hours. It'll be greasy with the rain that we've had, and a lot of it. Still patches of blue sky up above as Lang with a cross from the right-hand side, looking for Zuber. Klaassen is able to turn on the edge of his own penalty area away from Rodriguez, still 0-0. Up towards Berg, can he hold it up? Yes he can. He plays it then towards Klaassen, who looks for a searching diagonal ball, hit it first time from the right touchline, looking for Toivonen, goes straight out of play for a goal kick.
But you go back a minute or two to the cross from Lang from the right-hand side. It's exactly what I was saying. Right-hand side Lang, really impressed with him. Hadn't seen as much. Obviously Lichtsteiner's a player that usually plays there. He's not playing there today. Lang, not dissimilar, flying up that right hand side now, real confidence about the Basel player, and as I said, the left hand side, same sort of thing as well. Big thing though, Drimic is going to have to get in there, Jamali's going to have to get in there as well. You know where the ball's going to end up now. It's going to the back post of that Swedish defence. Is anyone good enough to get in there and make good capital from it?
That is their Achilles heel, Switzerland, for a side that has certainly been climbing the rankings. They've lost one of their last 25 games. That was against Portugal last October. But Vladimir Petkovic has done an excellent job since he took charge. His first match was that 2-0 defeat to Roy Hodgson's England when they won 2-0 at St. Jakob Park in Basel. As the ball played forward now by Jamali to Zuber. Left corner of the penalty area, back towards Jamali, just stepping forward to intercept was Ekdal. And with the outside of the right foot, there's a little flick there towards Klaassen, but Barami comes across, deals with that, out of play, it goes for a throw. As the silver-haired Petkovic, the coach, is just pointing to the head. I think he's trying to get some instructions across to them to keep their concentration better as the Swedish supporters find their voices here in St. Petersburg.
I think that possibly also may be pointing to Zuber down there, because he's done the unforgivable thing of go inside, drag two players inside, allow his fullback to fly past him and then lose the ball. That's just unforgivable for a wide attacking player to do that. You do not take that chance.
Lustig plays it forward along the ground. Berg with a little layoff to Klaassen. Interception from Barami, headed then by Lindelof to Granqvist. Augustinsson is going on a strong run down the left-hand side. Instead he goes forward. Forsberg now out to Augustinsson, the left back. Backpedaling is the right back Lang. Back inside to Forsberg. Sweden attacking from left to right. Crosses low. Toivonen lets it run through. Hasn't been dealt with. Chested off. Berg! Good save by the goalkeeper. Left-footed shot down into the ground. Danger still remains. Sweden still on the attack. And the flag is raised on this near side because Toivonen was offside. But Sommer made an excellent save because Berg caught that one sweetly. Left-footed down into the ground. Sommer made the save away to his right, one-handed.
Yeah, best piece of play and the closest we've come to a goal in the game so far. You really thought we were in a great angle from it here, right behind of. By the way, there was definitely a handball in the build-up to that. Augustinsson, he actually had handled the ball. Ball was played out there. Nice little half ball. He kept it down there. Sommer equal to it, full stretch to get fingers on it.
They are actually checking for a possible penalty with VAR at the moment.
It wasn't deliberate, was it?
Well,
it definitely had his hand. There's no shadow of a doubt about it.
It was Mikael Lang. The check is over. The only thing I'd say about it, although he jumped in the air, his arms were tucked in.
Well, they weren't high or anything. I mean, to be honest, to keep balancing, sometimes have your hands out. You know, it's one of those ones where you say it's a natural position. There's absolutely nothing unnatural about having your hands out.
But the best moment of the game by far. But it's still Sweden 0, Switzerland 0. Barami across to Akanji. Akanji can come forward almost towards half-time before he's eventually approached. Jack has dropped deep. Barami, he does keep dropping in between the two central defenders. It enables both fullbacks to push on for Switzerland.
Yeah, it's a clever little technique there, isn't it? Really clever little technique. I mean, lots of teams do it. You know, if you get that centre midfield player and ask the question of the two strikers to go up there, you see it allows the fullbacks to go on. Good idea to be able to find them though. At the moment they're not finding them.
No, they're not. Here is Svensson, Gustav Svensson, coming in to replace the suspended Larsson, playing his football in Seattle Sounders, as Lustig has given away a free kick. And he's looking at a yellow card here Mikael Lustig. Lustig, who's appeared in all 4 games, will be suspended for the quarter-final. The 31-year-old Celtic defender will miss the next match after picking up a yellow card.
Yeah, and it feels very harsh, that hurts a lot. But do you know what? His arms are around the player. It's a definite free kick, without a shadow of a doubt. But he's not tugged the shirt, but he's actually bear hugged the player there as he's getting away. It's deliberate. It's soft, but it probably is a yellow. It hurts me to say it, because for a player to miss the next game if he gets through, it's such a huge game for such a small foul in the middle of the pitch.
Well, the coach, Janne Andersson, I think has continued to protest, and the referee is wandering over to him. If you put your arms around a player and you're running the risk, I don't think you can complain as far as the Swedish coach is concerned.
I'd love to make a case for Lustig there, but I just can't. I simply can't see yellow card.
So he will miss the next match. Rodriguez then to take the free kick. It's still 0-0, 5 live. And Rodriguez, has he gone for goal?
Do you know what? I'm not sure he has. I think he wanted a little bit more curl. He's trying to do something really clever there. He's trying to do the curl but low and spinning in behind the centre backs. Mostly you put a little bit of air in that sort of one. But to be honest, that's a hard ball to play that, and he failed miserably.
He's got no curl on it whatsoever. It was a flat, low ball in off his left foot straight into the arms of Olsen. Augustinsson can't keep that ball in play. The game's scrappy. It's scrappy.
It is scrappy, but oddly enough, although the tactics are not complex, they're interesting to see who actually gets through in it, whose tactics work. And again, if you compare it going forward, who they're going to meet going forward. And if you are going to meet England, if it is England, or indeed Colombia, they'll be looking at that and thinking, yeah, we can see more and more weaknesses here from both of these sides. And what they're doing is not complex at all.
Well, I've been saying in the build-up to this game that this is going to extra time all day long. I've seen nothing so far to dispel that theory, as we have 13 minutes to go to the break on BBC Radio 5 Live. Our Wimbledon coverage is on 5 Live Sports Extra. Providing it doesn't go to extra time, we'll have 2 hours build-up live from the Spartak Stadium with Mark Chapman ahead of England-Colombia. Cross played in by Rodriguez, too deep. Augustinsson is able to turn on the edge of his 6-yard area and without any pressure whatsoever, and clear it out of play for a throw, which Giroud will take.
How many quality balls have you seen from the right and the left from Switzerland to absolutely no hope or expectation of getting on the end of it? And it goes back to what we were talking about even before the game, and what you said to this Florian, was it Florian, the Swiss journalist? If nobody can score goals, well, they're trying 3 different ones of they put Drimic on today. So far he's not looked like getting on the end of anything.
No, it's a stalemate at the minute, or as the Russians would say, tupik.
We're going to have to give this up eventually.
Effort from long range from Xhaka, and that was from at least 40 yards out. Hit it left-footed, and it was possibly about 6 to 8 inches over the crossbar. Still 0-0.
Yeah, but directly under the keeper's arms. Keeper had that well covered. It's one thing that gets a big ooh at the ground. You never thought for a second it was getting in, did you? I certainly didn't.
What am I giving up, by the way?
It's learning Russian. I'll be doing games with you next season with some luck, and I expect you to be throwing in Russian phrases.
As Mark Chapman said, every day's a school day. I'm learning a new word as we go along.
I've noticed. As has the nation. I'm very impressed by you, Dano. I'm very impressed.
Well, let's hope that it's not too much longer. 0-0. 11 minutes to go to half-time. The jokes don't get any better either. Lindelof's going to take the free kick in the centre circle. Sometimes, you have to amuse yourselves, and again, we had a bit of a dud the other night in Nizhny Novgorod, and it might well be going the same way for this one. Lindelof then to take the free kick. He goes straight down the middle, headed back by Granqvist, cleared away by the right back, Lang. Sweden can't break. In the centre of midfield is Svensson. Barami goes to ground and gets a free kick.
I don't see it quite as negatively. The reason being is that there are balls being put into interesting areas. There are, creation of opportunities, but the guy doesn't get the end of it, so that you don't actually get the final opportunity. But they keep on getting the balls into the right areas. There's no lack of effort from many of the players there. It just needs someone to have the wisdom, the smartness, the sharpness to go and make that run sometimes that run happens by luck more than judgment. So I'm not writing it off yet. Absolutely not writing it off yet. Middle to front, there's generally on the wide areas, there's one or two good things happening, and at the moment they're happening from the Swiss. He's the main man on the ball now.
Rodriguez, left-hand side with the cross, and a tumbling Svensson strikes his legs and goes behind for a corner kick. So let's see what Switzerland can do with this one. Switzerland have had 63% possession, but Sweden aren't bothered about that. They make no apologies about that. They had just over 24% against Germany, just over 33% against Mexico. They're quite happy to concede possession and then they'll try and strike on the counter. It's a corner kick though to Switzerland, and it's a left-footed outswinger, comes to Shaqiri on his left foot, charged down, strikes the back of Lustig. Back with Shaqiri, level with the penalty area. Shaqiri dancing around the ball, not once but twice, waits, has some support. It's going to come from Lang, can't find a way through. Switzerland now with Xhaka. Every outfield player is in the Sweden half, in the sunshine here in St. Petersburg. Lang plays a diagonal ball, Zuber lets it run through, Xhaka won't get there, they'll try and hunt it back, will Switzerland, but there's a break on for Sweden, and it's Berg. He's 10 yards short of the halfway line, but the red shirts are back. Xhaka drops to his knees, and the referee doesn't give the he has given the free kick, which is taken very, very quickly. Barami, Xhaka, Switzerland with Lang. Out now to Shaqiri. Xhaka's going on ahead of him. Zuber's in a central area. There's Jamari. There is a fluency in terms of the way that the players are moving around the pitch. They're just lacking anything in the final third.
Yeah, and to be honest, they tried once or twice there just to go through the middle with intricate little passing plays, the Swiss here. They don't even look close to being capable of doing that. Miles away from it. You also got to get it in your mind that we've been at the World Cup, we've been watching the likes of Brazil play. They're a wee bit spoiled with people that can do that sort of thing. We've been seeing some, if not some of, in fact, the best in the world doing that. So we're expecting a little bit better. This is a different league. This is a league slightly below that. And try to go through those intricate ones through they'll happen once in a match. Whereas if you watch Brazil do it, work much more often than that.
Jamali, nice little turn, played it forward, takes a deflection, might well go out of play for a corner. In fact, Lindelof actually did well to prevent it from going out for a corner. Just got the faintest of touches as he challenged Dermich now to play. It goes for a throw right down by the corner flag. Rodriguez is going to take it.
Well, nudge there. Didn't need to throw that nudge in. He could have actually given away the opportunity, but he didn't. And I don't think he's got a long throw, Rodriguez, so he's going to try and get back on the ball.
From the throw on the left-hand side, Zuber links up with Jamali. Back to Jamali! First time right-footed shot over the crossbar. Should have hit the target, didn't. Still 0-0.
Yeah, maybe in the last 5 or so minutes that's been two really good chances, one at either end, and both actually weren't bad play. That one, as you say, smashed over the bar, and it underlines everything we'll be saying about the game. That time, neat, intricate work. He's tried to smash it, but he's had an absolute rush of blood to the head. Taking it on the first time, he's not taking a touch. Maybe he didn't have time for a touch. I think he did have a time for a touch, but you've got to get that on target.
Toothless up front. Now Switzerland haven't scored at this stage in the competition. They're going to have to sharpen up their act. They are the better side in terms of possession and with the ball, but there's just nothing in that final third as Berg has been fouled by Giroud to give away a free kick. It's still 0-0. We've got 6 minutes to go to half-time here in St. Petersburg. We'll be giving you the latest, all the build-up at half-time. We'll give you the latest from the tennis at Wimbledon, as well as a flavour of what it's like in Moscow, as the minutes tick down to the 7 o'clock commentary of England against Colombia here on BBC Radio 5 Live, as the Swedish supporters have a free kick to look forward to here, and it's just short of 30 yards out from goal, right of centre, Pat Neville.
You wonder if, there are certain players in the past I think they would like to have had on the pitch just now. They were quite good at free kicks. We shall see who is capable just now. Looks as if Augustinson's looking at it, and possibly Forsberg as well. Yeah, Forsberg is standing right behind the ball. It's he who will run up now, right-footed, takes a deflection and goes behind. That could have gone anywhere because Sommer, the goalkeeper, was flat-footed. It's a corner kick, 0-0. Yeah, totally frozen. There's absolutely nothing you can do in that situation. It's extremely... You catch off the side of the wall, it's ricocheted over to the right-hand side. If that goes in, that's a goal. It's pure and simple as that. And to be honest, once again, maybe it would have been quite fitting of the type of goal this game would slightly deserve.
0-0, 5 minutes to go to the break. The referee spotted a little bit of pushing between Giroud and Granqvist, who's forward from the back for Sweden. Yellow shirts playing from left to right. Corner kick that Forsberg is going to take. Ekdal is in the 6-yard area alongside Berg. There are 3 yellow shirts just trying to make a little bit of movement on the edge of the penalty area. Toivonen is one of them. Little flick on doesn't come off. It's going to come out. Hesitation at the back. Sliding to win it back. And it was a good challenge, Svensson, to curb the run of Shaqiri. Out to Lustig. First time cross into the penalty area. And Ekdal has spooned it over. Totally unmarked. And another excellent opportunity is spurned by the Swedes.
The more and more this game goes on, the more I think there's going to be goals. Because you cannot keep on creating that amount of absolutely superb chances. That's 3 brilliant chances, 2 of them for the Swedes, 1 of them for the Swiss in the last 5 or 6 minutes. The finishing has been awful. Absolutely dreadful. And again, it's a dream situation for the team that's going to meet them in the next round. Neat and tidy in some areas, 1 or 2 strikes, but not that many, and just cannot seem to score a goal, even when there's plenty of great opportunities. That's a terrible miss.
4 minutes remain, and it's still 0-0.
That's a bit of an injury there, and I think that's a horrible injury to Mikael Lustig. He's getting up. Play
continues. Berg trying to pull the shorts off Giroud. If that would have been missed, VAR wouldn't have had any hesitation in dealing with that one. The elastic almost snapped as Lustig, thankfully, is back on his feet, but he's complaining about the challenge that was made.
It's something he's absolutely furious about. I think he got a little bit of fright. I think he thought he twisted his ankle there, and now again it can slightly overextend, and you think, I'm in trouble here. And he's reacted now, so then I think he slightly panicked because he thought, if I've reacted and the referee reads it in the wrong way, I'm already on a yellow.
Yes, he will miss the quarter-final should Sweden progress. 24 years since Sweden won a knockout match at a World Cup. This is the first meeting between the two of a major tournament, but it is the 29th meeting in total, although the first since 2002. 2.5 minutes to go to the break. It's 0-0. We should have had a goal, but we haven't.
A whole bunch of chances, and that's why you look at World Cups, and forget World Cups, your top competitions, almost everybody that wins the top competitions has got a superb goal scorer up front, and you can take them for granted sometimes. I'll tell you what, you stick a Harry Kane in front of any one of those chances, we'd have 4 goals by now.
Oh yes, without a doubt. Harry Kane, England's captain, he'll be leading England out in the Spartak Stadium, where Mark Chapman will be joined by Chris Waddle, our correspondent John Murray, Terry Butcher, pitch side. So we'll get the thoughts of the former England captain as well, all from inside the Spartak Stadium that's underway in 7. And the winners meet this one to complete the quarter-final lineup. We've already got France, Uruguay in Nizhny, which is on Friday, Brazil, Belgium in Kazan, Russia, Croatia in Sochi on Saturday, and then Samara awaits the 2 opponents as Shaqiri with a cross from the left-hand side this time. It was always going away from the goal as a result. Lang pops it back into the penalty area, but again, nobody there to meet it.
Yeah, but that is real quality, isn't it? The work there, Shaqiri's come over the left-hand side now, and he's trying to link up. He's trying to find somebody he can work with, and he's worked with Rodriguez there. Brilliantly got to the corner with just a couple of 1-2s between the both of them. Zipped it between the centre-backs and the goalkeeper. It's right across 3 yards out. Any striker in his right mind's got to take a chance there and slide himself in. There was not one red shirt within about 6 yards of it. Same old.
Just over 60 seconds then to go to the half-time whistle. Might be a little bit of added on time as Rodriguez collects the ball from Akanji. Comes forward now, the left back, midway through the Swedish half. He waits, he's challenged by Berg. Free kick is awarded. Berg not happy with that. They want to take it quickly to Switzerland.
They're half tempted to say Switzerland, don't bother hitting in the box, there won't be anybody there. We shall see if Shaqiri can do something special. It's a long way out though.
It is a long way out. It's midway through the Sweden half. It's left of centre.
Having said that, you've got the centre backs up this time.
Shaqiri whips it in now, right down the throat of the goalkeeper Robin Olsen. Got to give him a chance.
It's a shame that, because Giroud comes up, Akanji comes up there, they're big lads and they want to go and attack something, but that's straight into the keeper's hands, and to be honest with Shaqiri, that's quite disappointing. Having said that, apart from that, he's actually done very well today and put some very dangerous balls into nobody.
Here is Svensson. We're going to find out how much added on time there is, and it is just the additional 60 seconds which we're now into. BBC Radio 5 Live. Grankvist. Augustinsson plays it forward. Forsberg, who's not really been in the game as much over on that far side to try and test that right-hand side of the Swiss defence that has had its that half suspended with the right-sided central defender Scher as well as Lichtsteiner. Switzerland are on the attack. Here is Zuber, back to Barami. Barami waits, decides to come forward. Time's running out. Xhaka to Rodriguez. Rodriguez, can he whip in the cross from the left-hand side? Rodriguez down towards the corner flag, turns off his right foot. Switzerland are going back. The referee's going to blow his whistle very, very soon. As Switzerland now move it out towards the right-hand side. Shaqiri sees a space, runs into it. Shaqiri still going, can't find the space to get the left-footed shot. They're toying with Sweden. Where's the end product? In comes the cross. In comes the cross now, fisted away by the goalkeeper. Zuber then can't control the ball inside the penalty area, and the referee blows the half-time whistle. There is no end product for Switzerland. We should have had at least one goal, but we haven't. Berg sliced an excellent opportunity wide. Ekdal spooned another chance wide. That was spurned. Sommers made a save from Berg. And for Switzerland, Zuber's header on the run and Jamali over the bar. And that is the reason why, Pat Nevin, it's 0-0.
Yeah, the reason why it's 0-0 is because those chances were missed, but also the opportunities they should have had, particularly the Swiss, when the ball's put in across the box and no one's attacking it. Just in the last seconds there, the ball was put in the box from the left-hand side yet again by Rodriguez. Poor cross in, keeper catches it, but in this occasion there were 3 red shirts in there. It may well be that in the second half they figure out what the problem is and do something about it. But at the moment, if you're Swiss or you're Swede, you're absolutely infuriated, and if you're English or Colombian, you're probably smiling.
Half-time, Sweden 0, Switzerland 0. Oh boy, could I murder a fish supper now. I really wish you'd not said that, Pat. Anyway, we're about to get underway. Neither side has made a change for the start of the second half. Olsen is in goal for Sweden. Lustig, Lindelöf, Grankvist and Augustinsson the defence. Klaassen, Svensson, Ekdal and Forsberg the midfield. Berg and Toivonen are up front for Sweden. Yellow shirts, royal blue shorts, yellow socks, playing from right to left as we look against a Switzerland side in their red shirts and white shorts and red socks, with Sommer in goal, Lang, Giroud, Akanji and Rodriguez the defence, the midfield of Xhaka and Barami centrally, Zuber on the left, Shaqiri on the right, Jamali behind Josip Drmic, the striker who's been brought in. And just to give you an update, Paraguay-Japan was the last 16 tie to finish goalless, and that was in South Africa 2010. So hopefully there will be a goal of some sorts, and hopefully our schedule, as you try and plan yours around your work or your family life to watch that game, listen to 5 Live, it will remain the same, and you can do all of that either at home or in the car, listening to Mark Chapman live in the Spartak Stadium, because all being well, our coverage is due to start at 5 o'clock. 2 hours build-up to England against Colombia, providing of course there's no extra time, although Nick, who's just texted or tweeted in to Kelly, we're on the same wavelength. 0-0, Giroud heads it away, brought down, challenge comes in for Switzerland, and the referee has spotted a foul and he has given Sweden a free kick. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, it seemed to be a bit soft up, but I wouldn't be so sure quite yet there's going to be no goals. If you create that amount of opportunities in the box, I'm looking for a better word than chances, because there've not been that many chances, been 4 or 5 chances. But if you put the ball into those sort of areas, just sometimes by sheer dumb luck or by a ricochet, the ball goes in the net, and I'm kind of hoping for at least that at some point in the second half.
Free kick then to Sweden on the far side, the right, about 15 yards in from the right touchline. Toivonen's made the run, and it comes to the penalty area, cleared away by Akanji, the central defender. Shaqiri's early forward ball is blocked, and they were trying to come forward with Forsberg, as the Swedish support inside this stadium, spread all over the place to be honest with you, here in St. Petersburg, have now got another throw to cheer as they're up in their seats in their yellow shirts. Everybody has to wear yellow if you're from Sweden. par for the course. In comes the throw, headed on by Granqvist and drops well wide and out of play. In fact, it bounced outside of the penalty area and behind for a goal kick to Switzerland.
You can see they're actually desperate to, get that long throw, another opportunity to get the ball in the box from a corner or from a free kick, and they're trying from long throws as well. Problem is they ain't going anywhere with a long throw. That's not long enough to be considered a long throw. It's as if they haven't figured it out yet. That's nowhere near an area which you would think is dangerous, so you should probably try and get it thrown short, get it back to the guy who's throwing it and get the ball in the box that way.
Yeah, the other night there was a long throw, wasn't there, from Knudsen, the Danish left back. Now that was a long throw.
Now, to be fair, the similarity between the Danish and the Swedes, and it's not just because of the part of the world, a lot of similarities in style and the way that they are playing the game at the moment, and right down to that long throw.
People getting involved on the BBC Sport website with the live text as Forsberg comes forward and into the centre circle. Referee Demis Gamina almost got in the way. Good footwork though by Forsberg. He did well, the blonde-haired midfielder. Augustinsson, left-hand side, good cross into the penalty area, queuing over the back. Toivonen is there. Klaassen can't get a nudge. Toivonen left-footed volleys it over the crossbar, and it's for a goal kick, and it's still 0-0.
Over the crossbar again. Again, that was a wee bit. Get in a really decent position, get the ball at the back post. This time the Swedes got the little knockdown. I think that's what they're playing for. There was a moment there when the ball was bouncing around the box that you thought we were going to go for an overhead kick. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Unfortunately, Zlatan isn't here, and they've not got anyone close to that ability in the box.
So people getting involved on the BBC Sport website with the hashtag BBC World Cup. Benny, I'm not confident either of these sides will score in a penalty shootout either. Benny, you have a point. There's history there. That happened with Switzerland against Ukraine in 2006 in Cologne. They didn't even score with a penalty shootout. It's a record. They have the worst record in World Cup history. Cross comes in from the right-hand side. Shaqiri is there. Cleared away by Svensson inside his penalty area before Olsen. There's Toivonen sparking into life this game. This is Ekdal able to turn centre circle in his own half, out towards Forsberg, forward to Augustinsson. Poor ball straight to Xhaka. And Jamie, if Sweden still had Larsson, they'd be 1-0 up at least. Some terrible finishing so far, but imagine him at the end of Lustig's cross. Switzerland has got 0-0 written all over it.
Yeah, to be honest, I think you're underestimating it there with Henrik Larsson on the pitch just now. Even possibly at his current age, I think the Swedes would have had 2 or 3 goals at least.
And Mike Holden is in the BBC Sport website. Marcus Berg was 500 to 1 for the Golden Boot before the tournament. You can still get 500 to 1. Marcus Berg, who is yet to score, the 31-year-old. But he did score 8 goals in qualifying. They need him to find his touch. Sommer kept him out with a good save in the first half, but it's still 0-0. 6 minutes into the second half.
I was saying to you, by the way, that I'm holding out more hope than you. I appear to be holding out more hope than the entire country at the moment. There's going to be a goal, but just keep on. I mean, the start of this half, there's been 2 or 3 great crosses in, and the half chances are still there all the time.
But maybe if we all join together collectively and all pray, we might be able to see a goal go in and not for it to go to extra time, and then the coverage can begin at 5 o'clock for England against Colombia. But it's 0-0. Here is Barami. Barami just outside the centre circle. Shaqiri has dropped deep. But if you look at the top half of the draw, you can make a case for any of the 4 sides: France, Uruguay, Brazil, Belgium, to win this World Cup. In the other half, Russia, Croatia. After Croatia the other night, they were really poor against Denmark. Ball spread out towards that far side. Little turn comes in field. Laid out towards Rodriguez. Rodriguez drills it in low. Stopped by Lindelof, the Manchester United defender, and behind for a corner kick. There isn't one strong side at the moment that we've seen.
Yeah, but I mean, that's before England have really got going, and you never know, England might become one of those strong sides. But once again, left-hand side, talked about it before the game, talked about it all the way through. Rodriguez has been great.
Corner taken short, delivered too deep. Does Lang actually get that back in play? Yes, he does. The right back did well to keep it in play, and in fact he's won another corner kick off Mikael Lustig. Again, it's taken quickly. Shaqiri rolls it back towards Shaqiri. First time cross, curling left-footed, punched away by the goalkeeper Olsen. Comes out towards Rodriguez, shoots, charge down, goes behind for another corner kick. Switzerland applying pressure. Sweden trying to keep their concentration as Lindelof rallies the troops.
Yeah, this is even better. It's much better than the first half. I mean, there were chances in the first half, but they've upped the pace, they've upped the tempo. Seen it after 15 minutes. The fullbacks are going forward for Switzerland. The complete feature of this game. Both of them look superb. Rodriguez, when you're about, Lang has really impressed me on the right-hand side.
Corner kick then for Switzerland, playing from left to right as we look. Far side to left, it'll be an outswing. Rodriguez takes it with his left foot, comes off ahead of Toivonen and goes behind for a corner kick. Another corner kick. There's no ball for Rodriguez. He looks around, the ball boy appears and throws it to him, and Rodriguez can place the ball down if he can keep his balance. He just stumbled a little bit there, did Rodriguez. So, Switzerland corner kick. Again, far side to left. Rodriguez, another outswinger. It's going to come outside the penalty area. Jamali goes square. Xhaka feeds it out back to the left. Rodriguez, elevation with the cross. Lustig attacks it. Berg heads it away from the edge of the D. Sweden had every yellow shirt back in and around their penalty area. Xhaka will spread play to Shaqiri. Oh, delightful first touch. Killed it dead off his left foot. Caught in possession by Forsberg. He tried to pull him back there. Shaqiri did pull Forsberg back. Forsberg, if he'd have made a meal of it, Shaqiri would have been in trouble, because he definitely impeded the run of Forsberg, who, to his credit, tried to play on. Switzerland are attacking. Cross comes in from the left-hand side, and Augustinsson keeps it in play and out for a throw.
Yeah, honestly, I could just imagine someone like Alan Shearer in a studio at BBC watching these corners and crosses coming in and launching himself actually at the TV just now. That's another brilliant ball to the back post there. Nowhere, with not one player within miles of it. I mean, I'm looking at Drimich. I mean, for goodness sake, how many times does that ball have to go in there before you start taking a chance? Just launch your body in there. Just don't look at where the ball is. Don't look at where the fullback is. Just you get in there. You get in there behind the centre backs and between him and the goalkeeper. You will get chances. You don't need to be any good. It just needs to hit off you.
Shaqiri's fortunate. He should have been booked.
100%.
And if he was booked, he would have been suspended for the quarter-final, because he's on a yellow card. But he was struggling to keep back Forsberg. Forsberg did him a huge favour. 0-0. Sweden have got a problem. I think it's Ekdal who's been picked up a bit of a knock, so they're going to make a change very, very soon as Sweden. Still 0-0. 10 minutes into the second half. BBC Radio 5 Live. Our Wimbledon coverage is on Sports Extra and also, of course, on BBC Television. Sweden coming forward. Right to left, yellow shirts. Forsberg. Played forward. Toivonen. Tall and lean, short, blonde-haired striker. Sunderland fans won't have happy memories of him. Didn't score a goal in his 12 appearances when he was in the Premier League 3 years ago. Also played for PSV Eindhoven. 31-year-old now is playing for Toulouse as Augustinsson to Toivonen, and it goes out of play for a Sweden throw. Ekdal might be able to continue, you know. Seems to be walking a little bit better now, the midfielder. They're just actually checking on the state of the 28-year-old who was relegated with Hamburg from the Bundesliga this season. Swedish supporters increased the volume inside this stadium here in St. Petersburg. We're 2 hours ahead of you back home. BBC Radio 5 Live on a very pleasant evening where the sun is shining. Forsberg rides the challenge of Shaqiri, goes back to Granqvist, across now towards Lindelof of Manchester United. Still waiting for the first goal in this game. Chips it up towards Berg. Berg running out towards that far side. Lets it go out of play for a Sweden throw. It's level with the penalty area, and Klaassen is going to take it.
I think certainly Switzerland, the more I look at them just now, there are good things there about that team just now. They need to go somewhere and find someone with a grandfather who's Swiss, who can play centre forward.
This is a golden generation. It's a golden generation that is toothless. In comes the long throw, headed away by Rodriguez. Need to get the Icelandic coach. He's a dentist. He'll give him a bit of bite. Ball played forward.
They missed a chance there. Golden generation without any goals.
Akanji to Rodriguez. Plays it forward. Now Xhaka has got some space to run into here for the red shirts of Switzerland. He looks for the run of Dermich, but Dermich is running away from the ball, and Lindelof at the heart of that Swedish defence has got all the time to pick out Ekdal. Ekdal now, does he overrun it? No, gets there. Klaassen back to Ekdal, goes back. Lustig on the halfway line. Augustinsson's coming across towards this near side, the Sweden left, to provide width. They go back to Sweden, they're going to build from the back once more as we approach the hour mark. Still 0-0. This is Sweden's 50th match in the World Cup finals, and they haven't won a knockout match for 24 years.
I think the other thing that surprises me, when they get a decent bit of ball now and they're playing it along the back, and you're thinking, you've got two big centre forwards up there, at least lump it to them now and again, because you've not got anything else.
No.
You really haven't got anything else. But at the moment they're not even doing that. They're just playing it around, and there's nothing basically coming from them. When they have got the chances, it's generally been from that kind of pretty simple ball, get it sort of slightly wide and hit it from a kind of right midfield or left midfield area into the back post and attack it. But even at the start of the second half, they're not even doing that.
If England were to beat Colombia, and I know it is a case of if, they'd be playing one of these sides in a quarter-final of a World Cup.
It's dream scenario. Absolute dream scenario.
It is a dream scenario. It's even if you're Colombian, it's a dream scenario if you're a Colombian or an English fan.
Absolutely.
0-0. Svensson comes forward for Sweden, out towards Forsberg. Forsberg left-hand side. Barami tries to hold him up. Forsberg rolls it inside. Ekdal goes short. Why doesn't he have a shot? Played the ball in. Why didn't he have a shot? Look, he's just outside the D. You're thinking, hit it first time, and he goes square.
It's just the lack of belief in themselves, their own ability. I mean, he's among the more talented players on the team, on the Swedish team there. And it's kind of half opened up. There's a little chance to just get it out your right foot there, maybe curl it towards the far corner. You can see a mile away, that's the only one that's on. He's looking to play something intricate forward, but at no point in this game have Sweden looked like they can play anything intricate in that final third.
It's still 0-0, you won't be surprised to know. We're going to have been playing for an hour now on BBC Radio 5 Live. Akanji miscontrols the ball, but he's under no pressure, the central defender. Plays it short and diagonal forward to Barami. Barami very casually rolls it for Giroud, and Giroud up towards Shaqiri. Shaqiri nonchalantly flicks it back towards Lang, the right back, short of the halfway line. Back with Barami once again. Both fullbacks pushed on, right and left. Barami in between the two central defenders. Xhaka collects the ball on the halfway line. Up then towards Rodriguez, the left back, floats it over now, joining the attack. Shaqiri runs forward, 6 yards away from the byline. Right hand side, onto his left foot, he tees up Xhaka. Xhaka's completely mishit it.
In a game of bad attempts and goal, that one takes a biscuit. Absolutely takes a biscuit. It's coming across from there. It's coming fairly near to him, as I speak just now. Maybe the least surprising thing in the game so far.
Was that Barami booked?
I'm thinking Barami's going to get a yellow card right now.
If he is, he will then be suspended. Did he show him a yellow card?
Do you know he reached for it? Did he actually show it? Still talking?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He showed it. So Barami misses the quarter-final should Switzerland go through. So the Switzerland captain is booked. Lustig will be suspended should Sweden go through. Barami will be suspended should Switzerland go through. 29 minutes remaining.
This is more and more good news, let's be honest about it, for England, or as we keep on saying, Colombia. It's a bit tiresome having to say it all the time, but it's true.
Ball launched long, headed on by Lustig, the right back, well forward, and Sommer controls it with his feet and out towards Lang. Activity, I think, on the Swedish bench below. Red shirts for Switzerland. Giroud. Now with Akanji coming forward. Almost reaches the halfway line. Laid off by Dermich to Rodriguez. Out of play it goes for a throw.
The Sweden somehow do manage to get through this game. And looking at the way they played and the simplicity of the system they play and their fullbacks, the way they're drawn in, honestly, the amount of England players that could absolutely tear them shreds down those wings. I mean, wide players, attacking wide midfielders, anybody that England have got and decide to bother to play out there will absolutely tear Sweden apart.
Gareth Southgate and his team of analysts had every game covered here at this World Cup. They would have expected these two sides to be meeting here in this round of 16. But every base has been covered by Gareth Southgate and co as Forsberg is forward and is challenged off the ball by Barami, who's just been booked, he's got to be careful as the Switzerland captain to give away a free kick on the left-hand side, but on the evidence of this, whoever gets through of that game is going to take place in the Spartak Stadium. These two sides will not be fearing any of these two sides, that is for sure, between Sweden and Switzerland. But it's a free kick. Forsberg in flashes looks like a decent prospect, the Leipzig player. He's won a free kick that he's going to take left corner of the penalty area, 0-0.
And that free kick, to be honest, I don't think that's necessary from Barami. There's two players on him there. He's panicked, he's got far too close, and the problem with Barami is he makes tackles and gets his body into positions that are just incorrect for a tackler, and that's why he gets himself booked. He gives away far too many free kicks. He's already been booked, he's out the next game, and he's given away probably a free kick in the most dangerous area so far against his team in the game.
Forsberg then to take the free kick. It's 0-0. BBC Radio 5 Live. We're live in St. Petersburg. Free kick for Sweden. Forsberg to strike it into the two-man wall. Comes back to Forsberg. Left-hand side of the penalty area on the stretch. Left-footed, runs out of play for a goal kick.
That was awful. That was a terrible free kick. There's two players. There is a massive gap where he can put the ball into there. He's kind of on the corner of the penalty box. There is a massive gap for him to curl it into the back corner, and he's hit the middle of the two-man wall. You almost couldn't do it if you tried.
Shaqiri, support behind him. Lang on the run, low ball straight to Granqvist, who then will to Augustinsson, looking to turn away from the right back. Will apply him under a little bit of pressure. Augustinsson then gets it away, but it comes off Lang, and it will be a Swedish throw.
I mean, although you do generally want the better team in any football game to win, so you know, Switzerland are by a distance the better team. Without being brilliant, they're the better team here by some distance. But I suppose if you're an Englishman, you're thinking, please, Sweden score a goal, because this is a piece of cake. They don't look as if they could play against England for a fortnight and score.
Granqvist heads it away. His wife is due to give birth today, as Barami goes down into a challenge from Berg. It's a free kick to Switzerland. Barami's still sitting on the floor, as referee Scamina says that's the free kick, but it wasn't from there. It's got to be coming a little bit further back for Switzerland, who play from left to right. And we've got another 26 minutes remaining here in St. Petersburg.
I think the chances have dried up in the last 10 minutes or so. Right at the start of the half, the second half there really were a few. They started at a very, very good pace, but kind of dried up a little bit. But still, the Swiss to me look a much more dangerous team. You know, they're getting into good positions. But yet again, there's just nobody looks like scoring a goal for them. Surely a change soon.
Shaqiri darts forward off the right touchline, challenged. Toivonen is back helping out for Sweden. This cumbersome striker, as he's fouled for a very workmanlike Swedish side. 65 minutes played, still 0-0.
Yeah, you look down at that bench, and the Swiss bench, they've got a couple of centre forwards on there. None of them have done anything really much yet, to be fair about it. But I mean, they've got players that they actually could go and possibly score a goal for you. I mean, Dimmic did score a goal in the game against Costa Rica. I don't think any of the other strikers have scored have they yet, but you know, you wonder if it's time to make a change just for the sake of it.
Forsberg able to turn. Toivonen left corner of the penalty area. Back to Forsberg. Opens up for Forsberg. Sweden lead. Forsberg with the goal. Rifles the ball past Sommer. The deadlock is broken. The stalemate is over. And Sweden lead 1-0.
It is no surprise whatsoever that the goal scored in this game is a deflection. Had that not been deflected, the keeper would have just stood there and picked it up, because there was no real pace on it, and he's absolutely gutted about that. But they don't deserve it. They've not been the better team. They've created very few chances. Well, actually, they've created a few chances, but they haven't played well, the Swedes. But they're ahead, and none of that matters. And you're looking down at this bench immediately and saying the Swiss have got to change something soon, because they're going out just now, having done very, very little wrong up until the final third.
It was an outstretched foot from Akanji, wasn't it, that diverted it away from Sommer. But when they had an opportunity earlier and Ekdal didn't take that opportunity, thinking he hit it. But Forsberg, it did open up for him, and he struck it. And
I'm very happy I never gave way. I didn't think it was going to be nil. I didn't quite give way. There's too many chances, too many times the ball goes into dangerous areas eventually it's going to, as I say, hit off someone. Someone's going to get some dumb luck or something, and it's going to happen. There are games when there's just not enough balls around the box for that to happen. You expect that to happen. This was a game that didn't seem like that.
Sweden have scored first now in all 4 games at this World Cup, as there's just been a yellow card shown, and Xhaka is been booked. He's not on a yellow card, but the Arsenal midfielder has been shown a yellow card from the referee Scamina. The Swedish supporters, all in yellow, are dancing in their seats. They lead by a goal to nil. I don't wish to be disrespectful, but they are very, very ordinary. If England can beat Colombia, you're going to take on a very ordinary Swedish side in the quarter-finals in Samara, and you'll never have a better opportunity to reach the last 4 of a World Cup.
To be honest, you're looking at it now, and you've watched Colombia, and we've all seen Colombia through this competition, and you watch Sweden just now. Colombia's a tough one. By a mile, Colombia's a tough one.
Here's Forsberg. Plays it into Klaassen. Back towards Forsberg once again. His first goal of the tournament. Rolled in field. Oh, Ekdal, nice turn. Ekdal, right-footed over the bar. That was better from Sweden. Just couldn't find his range. Just outside the penalty area, over the top of the crossbar, as the Swedish, with some manic celebrations behind that goal, lead by a goal to nil.
But they're not going to give up, the Swiss now, down the left-hand side.
Shot fired in, and that was from Rodriguez, the left-back, and Olsen makes the save. It does make you wonder, though, why do you have to go a goal down before all of a sudden you start to get shots away? Because if you mentioned they've got players on the bench. Seferovic didn't even have attempt a single shot on target when he started his first 2 games. So if you know you haven't got a striker, you'll think, well, let's pepper the goal.
To be fair, the shot there by Rodriguez, I didn't want him to have that shot. He's a left footer. He's had to go on his right foot. Once again, you're expecting nothing more than a deflection is going to get your goal from there. It's a good 25 yards out. But yes, they've got to start taking a few chances now. But there has to be a level of control. Just looking at these Swiss players, watching for the next 5 minutes, do they believe they are capable, or their strikers are capable?
Rodriguez, left-hand side, comes forward now. They need an equaliser. Xhaka rolls it forward, cleared away by Sweden. Sweden now will certainly be quite happy just to strike on the counter-attack. They're going to sit back and frustrate Switzerland. Free kick though goes against Marcus Berg, who complains. Got to be careful not to talk his way into Scamina's notebook.
This is when they've got a free kicks about 35-40 yards out of the Swiss just now. And the temptation is to say, just what you're saying there, smash the ball towards goal. Actually, I'm not sure that is the best thing to do right now, because that's a big defence. You know the Swedes love that. This is the one you change the angle in, and maybe try and get to the byline again. We shall see if they can get something out of it. On the positive side for the Swiss, Juru and Akanji have gone up for it, so maybe they can get on the end of it.
They say it's a golden generation. The way that this draw is making out, somebody's got a golden ticket to get all the way through to a World Cup final, but Sweden ain't going to take it the way, Switzerland aren't going to take it the way it's going at the minute. Rodriguez curls it in, headed away. It's going to fall to Shaqiri. Shaqiri on his left foot, curling effort, takes a deflection, goes behind for a corner kick. Switzerland looking for an equaliser, going to be making a change. Seferovic is going to be coming on, I think.
Yeah, it shows you the lack of belief that he has in his striker there, that it's taken this long to bring him on when all those chances are going a begging at the moment.
Corner kick to Switzerland, who trail by a goal to nil. They came from behind to beat Serbia. They need to come from behind here. In comes the corner kick. A couple of deflections on its way through, both off Swedish defenders. Behind for another corner kick on that far side, the left.
Well, he's going for broke now. He's going to bring on 2 players now. So yeah, that's what you've got to do. You're getting extreme moments here in the game, extreme moments in the World Cup for yourself, Switzerland. They're not going to do it at the corner kick though.
And Bolo is the other player who's going to be coming on, who is raw but has got pace. Out swinging corner. Grankvist will get the header away. Chested into the path of Shaqiri from Jamali. Shaqiri goes central. Xhaka's going to let one fly from long range. That was blocked. Rebound comes to Barami, out to Shaqiri midway through the Sweden half. Shaqiri in a central area. rolls the ball across to Rodriguez, steps inside a sliding challenge. Rodriguez then turns away from Toivonen. The striker's back there protecting the Swedish defence outside the penalty area, throws himself to get the block in. Potential break for Sweden if they can switch it out towards Forsberg. Won't keep the ball in play.
Yeah, it was a great chance for them to break there, but you just wondered whether they actually had the sophistication to do that, and in the end they didn't have the sophistication to do that, and they'll make the change now. Zuber, who's had a very, very limited effect in the game in this second half, it's the right thing to bring him off. I think Mbolo's going to come on for him, the number 7, who's, as you say, he's a quick. He's had a few injuries, hasn't he? And he's not necessarily been the same player since he's had those injuries.
First saw him about 4 years ago. Liverpool were beaten by Basel in the Champions League. Very, very raw but rapid. As you say, he's since moved to Schalke. They paid something like 20 million euros for him, but broke his ankle in his first season, and he was out for about 11, 12 months it was for Mbolo. So he hasn't necessarily made the impact yet. He's 21 years of age. So Mbolo and Seferovic are on. It's Zuber and Jamali are the two players who've gone off. So they've had to go for it now. Vladimir Petkovic. This is a Switzerland side that has only lost one of their last 25 games as they've risen up the world rankings. But they've never won a knockout match in their history, whether in the World Cup or the Euros, and they are behind again by a 1-0 as Berg complains that he wanted the ball over the top, because you can see now what Sweden are going to do, Pat. They're going to just sit back, the two banks of 4, and then launch it long on the counter-attack.
They appear to have went late for late. There was lots of attackers up there now.
Rodriguez makes a marauding run from left back, does well to actually win a corner, does he, if he kept the ball in play? Yes, he does.
Give him his due, by the way. Seferovic got into the box there. He was in the 6-yard box when they went down the left-hand side. It hadn't been happening often enough before. Now they've got Seferovic and Drmic both on the pitch. If those crosses come in, surely one of them can get on the end of it. 16 minutes remain. We have had a goal. Sweden leads Switzerland 1-0. Switzerland now have a corner. It's an outswinger from the left-hand side, headed away by Lustig. Comes out to Xhaka, to Shaqiri, both midway through the Sweden half, chipped into the penalty area, and it was Akanji who tried to get on the end of that, as he has words with Olsen, the Swedish goalkeeper, and it goes behind for a goal kick. I think Akanji was suggesting he was getting his arm tugged back there as the ball was being played through. It might have been a little bit of a tug that, but there was no way in the world he was going to reach that ball anyway. Taking a chance though, the Swedish defence.
15 minutes remain. If there is no equaliser from Switzerland, the coverage will start on 5 Live, ahead of England-Colombia, live from the Spartak Stadium, with Mark Chapman inside the ground, Terry Butcher pitch side. Berg waits, Chris Waddle alongside John Murray. You'll also hear from Alan Shearer, Jermaine Genius and Danny Murphy. 64,000 inside the stadium here in St. Petersburg that will host a semi-final.
Kanji's gone down injured just now. There might have been a little bit of a flailing elbow. He's got one right in the chin. We watch a lot of players going down, some of them in gold and yellow and green shorts, quite easily when someone puts a finger near their face. Actually, that was a full-blooded elbow right in the chin. He's got himself back up because simply he needs to. We've got very little time now, 15 minutes plus injury time. They've got to do something. They've got to make some chances, the Swiss.
Ball goes long by Olsen for Sweden. Might come out towards Klaassen. Little touch there by Berg. Back towards Klaassen. Into the penalty area. He tries to turn. No foul. Referee had a great view of that. Well positioned by the referee. Sweden have won it back. Toivonen to Forsberg. Out towards this near side. Cross from Augustinsson. It'll rebound into the path of Forsberg, who lets it run behind for a corner kick. And Sweden lead by a 0-0, have a corner with 14 minutes remaining. 5 Live.
We can also see the fact that the Swedes, even though they're not playing the balls into corner and wasting time, they are loving the fact that the ball's up the far end of the pitch just now. They are already thinking of getting through this 1-0, trying to kill the game off maybe with a goal from a corner kick or a free kick. They've got a corner kick now.
Forsberg to take it, near side, right-footed in towards the near post, the header. Only as far as Klaassen acrobatically tries to hook it back into the penalty area. Lustig then will have a swing of that. It will drop out of play for a goal kick to Switzerland, who have just 13 minutes remaining. And frantically, Janne Andersson trying to keep his team going there for Sweden. He'll be thinking just a little bit longer. Remember, this was a Sweden runners-up in 58, but since the format changed in 82, they did reach the semi-finals in 94, but this half of the draw, we all keep talking about it. And
it's actually weaker than you thought it was. The odd thing is, you thought it was a weaker half of the draw. The more you watch the teams playing in this half of the draw, you just amazed by the fact that they've actually all got here.
And Bolo slips away from his man on that far side. Lustig tries to recover. Lustig does recover, and then he goes down. I think he's felt something there. He's hobbling. He's going to go to the floor. It's cramp as he just turned left-footed, rolled the ball out of play for a corner kick. He's got cramp.
That's bad news if you've got cramp, and then Bolo's just come on, because he is, as you say, lightning quick.
Seferovic is in there. Giroux's up from the back. Akanji too. Lang's in there as well, the right back. Dermich too. Everybody is back for Sweden. Yellow shirts all in that crowded penalty area. Corner is fired in. Grankvist goes to meet it, heads it out first time, played back out to Shaqiri. He's going to shift it onto his left foot. He tries to go for an effort, blocked, cleared away by Toivonen. He's like a third centre back there, the striker at the moment. Sweden are just sitting deep now. Shaqiri, 12 minutes remaining. Sweden lead by a goal to nil. Barami back out to Shaqiri. He's not in a place to hurt Sweden though. He's midway through the Swedish half. Seferovic out towards Rodriguez, left hand side, cross comes in now. Giroux tried to meet it, and Bolo tries to play it back. Shot comes in from Lang, and Sweden's defence stands firm. Deflected from Augustinsson behind for a corner kick. Now they're coming under pressure.
You just wonder about the Swedish when they do their training sessions. They don't do anything except stand in a line inside that 18-yard box and wait for crosses to come in and go and head them. They've not looked as if they're going to be troubled by many of them. It just takes one mistake. It just takes one ball to ricochet and fall to the wrong man. The Swiss are desperate for that to happen. It's not happened yet. It's not Clint, by the way. There is a check going on just now, which I have no idea what that was all about.
That was for VAR, but not required. Shaqiri to take the corner kick, left-footed, deep, downward header. Grankvist with the clearance. Forsberg made the block initially, and then Grankvist just swept it to safety from inside the 6-yard area. And we mentioned that Lustig had got cramp. He's feeling the effects of that cramp. He's stayed down, which the Swiss supporters are not happy behind that goal.
Yeah, I mean, right on the line there. I think actually the goalkeeper could have got back for it. It's going in towards the corner there, and just trying to see what's actually happened to Lustig there. He's trying to turn around and try to get away from the ball, and well, the cramps just come on again. You can't keep on doing that though. You can't keep on wasting time like that. You either have to accept that you can't carry on, or the referee's going to start ignoring him.
Switzerland trail by a goal to nil. Shaqiri touches the ball, runs in field midway through the Sweden half. Lang's behind him, middle flick by Lang, back towards Shaqiri. In comes another left-footed cross. Dermich had made the run, again couldn't get the touch as it was arrowed its way in towards the penalty area. Olsen makes the save.
Do you know, Shaqiri gets the ball every time, and if only we had a Stoke supporter near us just now could tell us if this was the case. He just does the same thing every single time. He gets the ball, he goes inside and he plays the ball angled in towards the back post. Do you know what? Mix up now and again, just now and again.
And Bolo for Switzerland, forward ball. Seferovic is now playing alongside Dermich. They've gone with the two up front of Switzerland. Shaqiri this season for Stoke City, 8 goals in his 38 appearances plus 7 assists. Couldn't save them from relegation. Sweden are celebrating here inside the stadium. They're going to make a double substitution as well, are Sweden, to protect their lead. We're going to see Martin Olsen, who's going to come on for his first appearance of this World Cup. The Swansea City player, they, like Stoke, were relegated. That was the 4th relegation of his career from the Premier League. So Olsen is going to be coming on, and the other player who's going to be coming on is the 16, Emil Kraft, who's a right back. So he would, I would imagine, Lustig can't continue. They're not going to take any chances. Olsen is replacing Forsberg. So that is a defensive change that is being made on the left-hand side of the midfield for Sweden, and Lustig has been told to hurry up, so Emil Kraft is going to replace him, the backup right back for Lustig of Celtic.
Yeah, and I think, there's no doubt in my mind, about 15 minutes ago, they decided they wanted a 1-0, they were going to stick out for a 1-0. I tell you what, that's a group of players down there that believe they can get a 1-0. I mean, even though the great balls are getting put in there, they have defended pretty well, they've got themselves back into good positions, and as you say, if you're bringing on Olsen for Forsberg, Olsen can get forward. I don't think he will very often.
The other thing is, Pat, as well, is that Lustig is suspended for the quarter-final, so Kraft will be the right-back to play against either England or Colombia in Samara on Saturday afternoon. BBC Radio 5 Live will be in the Spartak Stadium very soon, providing there's no equaliser for Switzerland. Building up to England-Colombia. Mark Chapman live. Shearer, Genus, Murphy, Butcher, Waddle, all the big names, and the big man too, John Murray, with 8 minutes remaining, as Switzerland now is starting to get desperate for a side that's never won a knockout match in their entire history. Akanji will come forward, he's over the halfway line. Sweden drop off, interception comes. They're hard to break down, this Swedish side, and Bolo's into the penalty area, and Bolo is still going. The challenge was made, was a good one, and then Kraft will flick it away. And Klaassen should clear up towards Berg. The two centre forwards split either side. Berg tries to hold it up, drops to his knees, and it goes out of play for a Switzerland throw. 7 minutes of normal time remaining.
Just get a feeling it's going to be one-way traffic from here right until the end. Absolute one-way traffic. They're sitting further and further back. They've made defensive substitutions, the Swedes just now, but it makes perfect sense. So far it makes perfect sense, but it just needs one of those chances. I suspect if it's going to happen, it's going to come from across from the right or the left, possibly Shaqiri, but much more likely Rodriguez, who for me has been man of the match, even though he's on the losing side at the moment.
And Bolo tries to roll away from his man, but he's actually fouled Grandfist, who's now also going down, feeling the effects of cramp. He is 33 years of age, the former Wigan defender, who back in November was named Swedish Footballer of the Year. He's contributed 2 goals to this campaign that is going to take Sweden potentially into the last 8. And we talked before about up to 5,000-10,000 Swedish supporters being in St. Petersburg. Might not necessarily be inside the stadium, that number, but they'll be celebrating inside this city tonight, and there'll be more on their way, as they often make their journeys in the camper vans. Certainly remember that being a striking sight in Ukraine in Euro 2012, which was the time where England and Kiev beat Sweden 3-2 to finally end that Swedish hoodoo. 4 decades of losing to a winless run against Sweden in competitive football in the Olympic Stadium in Kiev. And it might well be England-Sweden in the quarter-finals of the World Cup in 2018. 6 minutes remaining. Everybody's thinking it back home. Everybody's thinking it.
Nobody wants to see it, but everyone's thinking it. You're right. This is the chance. Wow, this is a chance.
Barami in the centre circle, over the halfway line. 5 minutes of normal time remain. And Bolo out towards Rodriguez, the left back in the penalty area, can't get it onto his left foot. He turns, trying to work over the cross. He does so. Augustinsson couldn't take the chance. He didn't know where Lang was, so he's chested the ball behind for a corner kick. But Switzerland keep knocking.
Once again, Rodriguez, he gets to the back, puts a brilliant crossover, takes the goalkeeper completely out, gets it at the back post. No, not a red shirt, 2 yellows.
You know where this is going with Shaqiri. It's going to be in swinging corner from the right. In it comes now. Olsen under pressure, punches it away. Out to Rodriguez, turns off his weaker right foot, blocked by the legs of Grandfist. The yellow shirts will try and break, but it's Akanji who'll get there first to Barami. Sweden at the moment can't get out. Switzerland now piling on the pressure. Under 5 minutes of normal time remain. Rodriguez is playing as a left winger. In comes the cross again. Dermich brings it down. Dermich with a shot blocked. Dermich again. Another clearance out towards Xhaka. Shaqiri, right corner of the penalty area. It's going to come off his left foot eventually. He chips it towards the far post, and it arcs its way away from Mbolo and drops behind to safety for a goal kick. And Sweden still lead by a goal to 0 on 5 Live after 86 minutes.
It's infuriating what Shaqiri done on that occasion there. It was actually awful what he did. He was shown so far onto his left foot. There were 10 yards completely free on his right foot to run down the line. He will not go on his right foot. He will just not do it. You must be capable of trying that now and again, and that's what led to the fact that Sweden get all the players behind the ball, and there is no way that you're going to score from that. He's got to try something different now and again.
Referee's assistant on the far side has waved a flag. Berg was looking for the free kick against the former Arsenal player Giroud. It's actually gone in favour of Switzerland. Under 4 minutes of normal time remain. All the build-up to England on its way here on BBC Radio 5 Live. If you want the tennis coverage for Wimbledon, it's on BBC TV or 5 Live Sports Extra. We'll also be hearing, I'm sure, from Russell Fuller and Tony Livesey down there at SW19 at various stages of the evening. to keep you up to date here on 5 Live as Switzerland, with 3 minutes of normal time remain, give the ball away to Ekdal to Berg, then they play through the middle. Toivonen looking towards Berg, that was nicely done as they sweep it now out towards Olsen. Olsen runs forward, fresh legs of the Swansea City player on this left-hand side. He goes down towards the corner flag, then waits, he looks for some support. He's going to come now with Ekdal, who's continued to run across the pitch. Here he is now on this near side, and then Anderson, the coach, just says, just slow it down, because Sweden are very, very close to winning their first knockout match at a World Cup in 24 years, and one of the top-ranked sides in the competition, Switzerland, will be bowing out at the last 16 stage, and history will be repeating itself as they go out again without finding the back of the net. It's incredible. They've got a corner kick now, Sweden.
Yeah, they have. They've killed the team brilliantly these last 5 minutes or so. They've got it up. Olsen got the ball, chased it up into the corner, and the ball stayed there for the past minute and a half. Absolutely exactly what you want to happen at this point of the game if you're a Swedish fan, if you're a Swedish player, and most importantly that Swedish coach. He's delighted with that now.
He replaced the studious Eric Hamren, appointed 2 years ago, as the corner is taken short, and they tried to win another one off the legs of Barami from Toivonen, but it went straight out for a goal kick. We're inside the last 2 minutes of normal time. The two central defenders have split once again either side of the penalty area. There isn't necessarily the high press this time from Sweden as they retreat. It allows Akandri almost to reach the edge of, the centre circle on that far side before coming forward. Rodriguez then goes back. Barami spreads it across towards Xhaka on this near side, the right. He's over the halfway line. Shaqiri midway through the Swedish half. Back towards Xhaka. It's going to have to go long. Spreads play across towards the far side. Headed back by Klaassen in front of Rodriguez. Rodriguez wants to let it go out of play. It does go out of play. It's a Switzerland throw on that far side. 60 seconds remain of normal time. Sweden still lead by a goal to nil. Sweden are going to be making a change in the dying stages. Xhaka can't get it forward. Giroud joins the attack. Giroud floats it forward. Seferovic ducks underneath the ball, doesn't keep it in play, and it will be surely a goal kick. No, it's gone for a throw. Right. Sure, it went out of play.
Yeah, it looked as if it had done. Seferovic, I think he made the point in commentary, the ball was played towards him there. He stopped looking at the ball, he looked around him. He could have actually caught that. He could have trapped it on his chest there, but his timing was all wrong, so he made a real mess of that. And one thing it has led to is a throw in deep, and the Swedes will make another change, which no surprise has been made, just to waste time as much as anything else.
So Isaac Kejsatelin is going to come on for his fourth appearance. Again, all of them have been off the bench. Just a fresh pair of legs as an outlet more than anything else to replace Marcus Berg. He's one of half a dozen in this Swedish squad who formed part of their successful under-21 Euro winning campaign in the Czech Republic from 2015, as we are into added on time, 3 minutes of added on time here in St. Petersburg, and Sweden have a slender advantage by a goal to nil. A goal from Forsberg after 66 minutes. Took a deflection, but credited with the goal. Shaqiri, Xhaka, midway through the Sweden half. Played back towards Xhaka once again. Shaqiri now in the centre circle, central area, looking to try and conjure up something, the time ticking away. Xhaka then rolls it forward. Rodriguez has stayed forward. Good ball in from the left-hand side. Super save as well by Olsen. Seferovic with the header, and the goalkeeper was in the right place to make the save on his goal line.
Yeah, he's gone beyond the front post there. Once again, usual chap, Rodriguez pushed on a brilliant ball there in the near post. A kind of Olivier Giroud type header, near post, flicks it behind him. Good save by the goalkeeper, but you just wonder now, had Seferovic been on earlier and had more chances like that in the first half and the start of the second half, maybe he could have done much better than Drmic, who had little effect in the game.
They have been woeful in attack of Switzerland. I can't really recall Olsen being overly extended throughout the course of the game. That was a good save from Seferovic. 90 seconds remain. Sweden on the attack. Olsen, who's playing left side of midfield, goes down under a challenge from Mikael Lang. The referee tells him to get up. The Swedish supporters aren't happy. Switzerland take the free kick quickly. Here now is Shaqiri, he's over the halfway line. 60 seconds remain. They're trailing by a goal to nil. He advances to the edge of the penalty area. Granqvist then just throws himself in front of that to head the ball away. Sweden push on out. The red shirts of Switzerland now have the ball once again. Giroud just outside the centre circle to Xhaka. Xhaka clips it forward, headed further away by Klaassen. Picked back up by Barami. We're inside the last 60 of added on time. This is going to be a roll of the dice from Switzerland, a final roll of the dice. Giroud plays it forward, lacks the direction, cleared away, lucky ricochet, and Bolo out to Rodriguez, drives it in low, blocked by Kraft, headed further away then by Klaassen, comes out towards Barami, Rodriguez left hand side, another good block by Klaassen. Throwing themselves in front of it are the Swedes, those yellow shirts. It's a yellow wall that is now deciding to break. It's 4-on-2 if they can play it right. If they switch it to Olsen, they can seal it here. Olsen running forward now. Olsen stumbles, goes down. Penalty.
100%. Not even a slight doubt about that. That's a penalty. Referee's taking his time. It's a clear red card. That was deliberate. Game over.
The break was on. He was left with no choice. They played it superbly. Olsen then coming forward, lost his balance. Challenge was made. No attempt to play the ball from Mikael Lang. And the right back has been shown a red card. It'll make very little difference because by my watch, time is already up. And Granqvist, on a day where his wife is expecting the birth of their baby, he places the ball down, or he will eventually as he makes his way forward.
He's scored a couple of penalties in this tournament, hasn't he?
He's got an opportunity to make it 3.
Well, they're going
There's
to
a
the
penalty
VAR
review.
Yeah, that's a surprise.
Well, look at this, they're making a penalty review. Lang's already left the field.
You wonder if it's actually outside the area when the first push happened. That's the only question mark.
Well, Lang he's standing now at the mouth of the tunnel as this is penalty review with VAR.
Do you know what? I think yes, he's outside the area. I think it's a definite push. It's probably still a sending off, even though it's out the area. I'd still say it was a sending off. Yeah. So I wouldn't worry about that at all. No. I don't think that's going to change. But it might be a free kick in the edge of the box.
Yes. Yeah, he will still be sent off. But it will just determine whether it's a free kick or indeed a penalty. The referee's actually gone to look at the monitor inside the tunnel. It will make no difference in terms of the dismissal to Lang. Lang will be quite rightly shown off for the denying of a goal-scoring opportunity. What it will determine and whether it's a penalty or not. Langlo still hasn't gone down the tunnel. I can still see him down below. What's Scamina, the referee, going to do? By the way, 5 minutes of added on time have now been played. And after review, the ground falls so silent. It's a free kick. Did you listen? Well, did you hear how quiet this crowd of 64,000 went then? He did this little screen as if to the square box.
Yeah, he still get the red card out. Again. Well, that's good keeping it clear, isn't it?
Yeah. Everybody waited with bated breath, and it will be a free kick. But there's no issue about the red card because it was a denying of a goal-scoring opportunity. So that decision, it was all about the penalty, and they've got it right. They have got it right. It was just outside the area. Sweden, though, now will just say, don't go forward. Granqvist, look at him. He's saying, you come back. He's pulling everybody back, Granqvist.
Yeah, do you know what? There is a temptation just to smash this out of play.
Well, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd clip it towards the corner flag.
You know, you're right. You're actually 18.5 yards out. You're right in front of the goal. And the sensible thing actually is to go and kick the ball away.
Look, they're doing that. They're telling Olsen to come across
it's the right thing to do.
Thelin to come across towards this side. They're telling Anderson's saying, play it out to the left. Because when it's taken, Sweden lead by a goal to nil. Don't give Switzerland the opportunity. Olsen's going to pass this ball straight out to the left. Shaqiri now knows what they're doing. Shaqiri's going to try for the interception. Meanwhile, Toivonen comes up and strikes it. Keeper makes the save. It was all a decoy. But the referee's blown his whistle. And Switzerland still haven't won a knockout match in their history, as Sweden, for the first time in 24 years, win a knockout match at a World Cup. And Sweden awaits either England, Colombia in Samara after beating Switzerland by a goal to nil.
And I'm amazed that this has happened the way it has happened just now. What I'm not amazed at is this game was decided by a deflection, because neither team looked as if they had anybody who could score a normal goal in open play. And I'm going to say it again, and everyone else is going to say it. England, Colombia, you have nothing to fear. Nothing.
Nothing to fear. It's a very, very ordinary Swedish side, but they are in the last 8 of the World Cup. Their supporters are celebrating here in St. Petersburg. Sweden 1, Switzerland 0. Forsberg with a winner after 66 minutes.